What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's so funny, after watching the video I put up just a second ago, I was like, okay, I've got to return this blouse. It just looks like so big on me. I originally bought it for the bell sleeves, but I just decided the fit and stuff is not worth it. And so I still got the tags on and I'm returning it right after I finish editing this video. Now let's jump into a recap of the 12th episode of the 8th season of Teen Mom 2, which begins with Jenelle Evans picking Jace up from Barbara, and she basically tells him in the car that he likes David. She's basically like, you like David, don't you? And so Jace is like, yeah, okay, don't shoot me, I'll do anything. Yeah, I like David. And so Janelle's like, oh, well, that's not what you told your therapist. Like, you told your therapist that you were scared of David, and they told Meme. And she just absolutely obliterates all of his trust in his therapist and his grandmother and her in one quick sentence. It's just so sad to see how absolutely reckless she is with her own child's feelings. She did not consider his feelings whatsoever when asking him about his private conversations with his therapist. And knowing Jenelle, she's not going to do any further investigating on what it is about David that is potentially scaring Jace. Like, she's probably like, well, he told me after I confronted him that he likes David, so there's nothing to see here, folks. Next, Briana gets child support papers to file against Devoin, and so she asks him to come over to give her personal information for the court documents. And so he and his do-rag come over, visit Nova, and give Briana the information she needs to file the papers. Meanwhile, in West Virginia, Leah has her sister Victoria come over to discuss the awkwardness of the date we saw in the episode prior. And just a quick sidebar here, you guys, does Leah's sister Victoria look like a hardcore drug addict to anyone else? I would say that she looks rode hard and hung up wet, if you know what I mean. And another thing that rubbed me the wrong way about the scene was the way that Leah just casually laughed at the guy, even last episode as well. It's like, what are you laughing at, Leah? You don't really bring much of anything to a relationship. You've got like 3 kids from 2 people, 2 failed marriages at 25 years old. You're also undereducated and functionally illiterate with no real adult work history, so humble yourself. She and her weave then drop the kids off with Corey, and Addie starts crying about how much she misses her dad, Jeremy. Leah actually handles the meltdown really well, I must say. And then Kail's baby daddy Joe FaceTimes actually his dad to talk about filing for 50-50 custody against Kail, and he lets us know that the reason he did it was because of her own attitude. He's like, listen, I only gave her mock documents on what I wanted, but she started calling me names, insulting me, and acting like a deranged, like, lunatic. So I left that meeting, went to my lawyer, and was like, all right, file these documents, which is a far cry from the victim act that Kail was pulling the last episode. She was like, I was so blindsided. This came out of nowhere. Like, what happened? We're then transported back to West Virginia, where Jeremy calls Leah to talk about the next time he'll see Addie, and he's like, I want to surprise her at the beach. And Leah rightfully tells him, listen, it can't be like this big surprise and event every time you see her. Like, a father is supposed to be a constant in a child's life. It's not like this great surprise, wow, a dad's coming to see me every single time. Like, chill the fuck out. And so Jeremy seems to agree, and then Leah also kind of implies that at times he ditches his time with Addie to hang out with Brooke. She's kind of like, you know, just make sure that you do see her whenever you're available. It's like, all right, I'm picking up what you're putting down there. After that conversation, bootleg Lance Bass and his friends go out for beers, and he implies that Leah is the one who keeps him from Addie at times. He then talks about people critiquing his parenting skills. He says that he won't quit his job and jeopardize Addie's college fund, which to me, not to be insulting or anything, was a massive surprise. I was like, you know, between Leah, Jeremy, and Corey, I'm not seeing any formal educations in them or their parents, from what I know anyway. So I didn't even think that college was a word that was really in their vocabulary when it came to their children. And I was like, all right, I was not expecting Addie or any of the kids that Leah has to go to college. So I was really impressed. Back at the Dejesus condo, Brittany and what's her name, Briana, are talking about how Devoin was so nice and cooperative in the whole child support thing. And they then talk about how Nova's getting so much more expensive because she goes to a private school. And I was like, okay, Briana, you live with your mom and your sister in a little condo Is there a reason Nova's going to private school? Because it's clearly out of your budget. In the land of Kail, she brings the boys to her last day of school, and she lets us know that she actually brings them every single Wednesday, which makes her classmates and teachers a lot better than me, because there's no way in hell that I would be okay with a person bringing their children into the classroom on a weekly basis. Hell to the no, especially not someone in Kail's tax bracket. Like, get yourself a babysitter. You've got 2 baby daddies, 20,000 friends, you know, always in your damn house. I'm sure someone can watch your kids. This is not going on my time. What the heck? And then her teacher kisses her ass so badly. He's like, we've got like a television star in our midst, so like for our final project, why don't you guys pitch TV shows to Kail? Like, she knows anything about getting a show put on TV. Like, what has Kail put onto our glorious television rosters? Don't worry, I'll wait. The class is really smart. They're like, listen, I'm not giving this heifer my ideas for free. No. F you, pay me. Chelsea's 1 and 2 then go over to Chelsea 1's dad, Randy's dental clinic, where Chelsea 2 is about to get Botox. So she's getting her little Botox done. Side note, it's really sad that some people have to get Botox done so young. Thank God for that melanin, honey. Anyway, at a certain point, Chelsea brings up, what else? Adam. So she's like, oh, like, I saw this scene in Teen Mom OG that just made me really scared for Aubrey and blah, 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 blah. And so she shows them the scene, which is Ryan nodding out on his way to his wedding with Mackenzie. Mackenzie's all in her get rich or die trying mode and allows him to drive while passed out, right? And so Randy and Chelsea 2 are asking the question on all of our minds, which is, why the heck did you let this guy drive, obviously high out of his mind? So Chelsea brings up how it made her nervous for her Aubrey whenever she's with Adam, but then she also brings up the fact that his parents are absolutely on point with following the custody agreements, which is that they're always supervising. Adam does not Aubrey, and besides, Adam is passed out 99.9% of the time that he's with Aubrey, so it's really not that relevant to her. So why the heck bring it up? I feel like she's always looking for an excuse to bring him up, and it's fucking annoying at this point. Anyway, Jenelle and David talk about how she needs to spend one-on-one time with Jace to delude him into thinking that it's through no fault of Janelle's that he can't stay with them regularly. Jace later calls her mom for what is the first time in a really, really long time, and then they sit on the couch together to play Xbox, and she just lays it on so thick. I love you, Jace, and all this stuff, and it's like, ugh. Because from what I'm imagining, to Jace, Jenelle is just some auntie that comes by every once in a while and screams her effing ass off, locks herself in the bathroom, and calls it a day. Like, I don't think he sees this lady as a mom, and so he's kind of like, you know, so long as we keep playing this Xbox, bitch, I love you too. And you guys, if I did not know any better, I would say Jenelle was high as a kite in this episode. Look at her eyes. Leah's ratty extensions become dreadlocks by the time she drops Addie off with Jeremy's mom to take to the beach, where Jeremy is wearing his best boyfriend jeans, ready to surprise her. And then Kail drives her kids home and calls up her friend via what? Oh, sorry you guys, someone hit the buzzer to come up to my apartment. So Kail reaches out to her friend via FaceTime while driving with her 2 kids in the back and the other one in her damn belly. So she's got like one hand on her phone, the other either on the wheel, occasionally only. Most times she's not really driving with any hands, and it's just such a shame to watch and to see that there are no PSAs for this at all, because it is so dangerous. There are worldwide campaigns against texting and driving, and Kail is not even like just casually glancing at her phone, texting and driving. She is full-blown distracted driving, like to the extreme, where she is looking at her friend's face on a phone, not even having her hand on the wheel. Like, it is a hot ass mess, you guys. Listen, when I go to Burger King and get myself a Whopper Jr. and my onion rings and 2 packets of zesty sauce, I like am so focused on the wheel and scared of fucking it up. So I do not understand how this girl can have 2.5 children in the car with her and not give a shit about driving safely. It's beyond me. Now, in the final scene of the episode, Jenelle is bringing Jace back to his mom, Barbara, and Barbara's waiting, and she's talking to a producer about how if Janelle's late, it's in contempt of court. And I was like, okay, that's pretty petty, Barbara. You know how Jenelle is, and you know, for Jace's sake, let's just keep it a nice, clean environment. You don't have to time her down to the second. You know she's on her way. Shit happens, traffic happens, let's chillax. So Jenelle arrives with Jace, and of course the two of them get into a spat about who gets Jace on what particular day starting summer break. And so it seems like it's an issue that's going to have to go through the lawyers, because they both have completely different interpretations of the exact date that Jenelle gets Jace for summer break. And that concludes the 12th episode of Teen Mom 2 this season, you guys. What did you think about everyone's shenanigans? Leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more, feel free to share it with your friends as well, and follow me across social media where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.